Alright, picking back up with the reading of Green by me, the author, with the current edits. And we are on chapter 2, and we're jumping into 1993 Sedona. The first memories of my new life were birthed into existence with a flashlight. Almost 3 decades later, and I can still close my eyes and see that moment frozen in time, embedded in my brain, ingrained in my soul. It was that moment when I was stirred from my childhood slumber to an unexpected new world by a flashlight. I couldn't tell you what made me open my eyes. Was it the officer's calls or the officer's bumbling for the light switch, which in turn roused me from my wake the dead kid coma? Reliving these memories brings with them a flurry of emotions, completely catching me off guard as I didn't expect jealousy of my own sleeping habits to play into this narrative. Goodness, you take such things for granted when you're a child. Sweets, milk, sleep. These days, my sleep comes in bits and pieces, several hours at a time. A full night's sleep for me is a child's dream. Until that night, I slept like a baby. Well, I was a baby. Ever since that night, now my sleep is dark, broken, and a sad place to which my mind visits to relive these memories that I lay before you. So I guess you would classify the memories as nightmares, and they haunt my dreams, and my days of childlike sleep are gone with that night, with so many other things that were prematurely yanked away. So with all honesty, I couldn't really tell you what it was that woke me up, what in turn made me open my eyes in that moment to the bright, white-yellow beam of a light shining my way. My room was dark, but the hallway light behind the bright beam was indeed on, giving off the most eerie and terrifying experience to a 10-year-old girl, having been woken by a sound and then confronted with a black silhouette, standing in the doorway of my bedroom, illuminated by the hallway light, but hidden behind the beam of a flashlight. I had no idea who was standing in the doorway of my bedroom. In a split second of panic, I froze, followed quickly by screams of terror and fright so loud you'd think I was the one being murdered. That is, until the silhouette in question finally located the light switch to spark instant lights and alleviate my terror, only to turn into confusion, as when I saw that it wasn't the boogeyman, but maybe worse, a police officer stood in the doorway of my bedroom with a flashlight in his hand, asking me to get up, get dressed, and not telling me anything else. The last couple days have been hard because I'm reliving this. Every time I close my eyes. Chapter 3, 1993, Sedona, Arizona. It was probably about 2 a.m. early on that Friday morning when the Sedona police officer David Zanet woke me and told me to get dressed. In haste, groggy, but instantly on high alert, something was wrong. Very, very wrong. Even as a kid, I knew this. This had never happened before. Like, this was straight out of one of my Christopher Pike or R.L. Stine books, like the dozens that sat on my shelf, which I found myself strangely staring at while grabbing some things as instructed, not knowing what the hell I was supposed to grab. In July of 1993 was the year of my 11th birthday, in addition to my mother's murder. The early morning hours of July 9th marked 17 days exactly until I was going to be 11. I remember this excitement for this birthday in particular, not because it marked the year of my mother's death. Not at all. This was a big year birthday-wise because I was going to get my very own TV for my big girl bedroom. In 1993, I just finished 5th grade, so only my cool friends had their very own TV in their room. This was going to be epic. A TV now to add to a boombox, a huge collection of my favorite childhood fiction writers, R.L. Stine, Mr. Pike. My Possum 101 Dalmatian comforter set. Told you I had a cool mom. An escape route, yes. My room was a converted room, originally a garage. My very own room came with several amenities that any mother would be thrilled over, said with mucho sarcasm. But hey, a kid would be like, yes! Being as it was an old garage at one time, my room had an access door to the outside world. I was expressly never allowed to use, which of course I managed to get locked and unlocked and totally used while Mom was working. In addition to my escape route, this came with a huge walk-in closet, which was legit just a toy room in itself. My mom hated clutter, and if my toys weren't put up, they'd get tossed. She was a crazy clean freak. Anybody that knew her would say the same. So for me, as a kid, to have a huge closet like that with a closing door, I could sweep all my junk for a clean room inspection time. Oh man, uber coolness. I always got away with that one. She hated that closet. Had roaches. They freaked me out too, but when I saw the power that they wielded over my mother, I was like, little dudes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Let's be friends. So I didn't mind them keeping Ma out of my junk closet, but when they decided to creep up into my bed, my warm affinity for my little friends quickly made my awesome kitty bat cape unbearable. But best of all though, my room had the access hatch to the attic as well. Oh, you bet I was told to never, never pull that down and go up there. So of course I did. Oh my God, in all caps. And there I created my secret place, my fort. Oh my gosh, I remember dragging all my favorite toys up there. All the hidden things I didn't want found. That was my secret garden. And to this day, I still think about that attic hatch in my secret garden up there because Mom never knew I played up there. She didn't know I had toys in the attic. I would only chance these visits to my Narnia when she was working and the house was empty. My sister had a big mouth. She would tell if I was playing in the attic. I just added that in, but I should put that in because that's the truth. Little bitch. Little big mouth. Lost my page, lost my spot. My little secret place, and I wondered how many years it took. I wondered how long until somebody pulled down the attic hatch after we were gone and saw that a child once played there. That this wasn't a typical attic and that it had indeed been a child's playroom, my playroom. And I wonder if whoever decided to open the attic hatch had to have known of the murder that took place there and of the 2 children whom resided in that house at the time. I wonder if they ever found my secret place, and I wonder if they wonder about who made that playroom. If they put 2 and 2 together, that it was the playroom of the daughter of the woman that was murdered in that house in 1993. I always wanted to know who found my attic room and what they thought, and whatever became of all my secret toys. Chapter 4, 2021. Present, Phoenix. So there we go, a beginning. After 4 days and getting 3 chapters in, upon that round of edits, it was as if an epiphany, an aha moment, a revelation that not only that this wasn't my autobiography, but in fact a memoir about my mother. As I was writing that and the notion dawned, the title should have meaning to her. And then when I remembered that quote she told that friend all those years ago, and I knew how fitting to start my mother's story with words from her own mouth. Green. And green it is, and it will stay, even though she was buried in blue. And the complete funeral service, and while she laid in state, it was a valley of blue. The blue dress, blue eyeliner, the blue makeup, blue carnations that filled the room as if they grew right from the walls. They were everywhere. Blue. To this day, I don't know why her funeral was adorned in hues of blue. Was it because she had that beautiful blue dress, or because the obituary picture was chosen because of how beautiful she was in that beautiful blue dress? Or blue was chosen to simply represent how my family felt about lying their 32-year-old daughter, sister, mother to rest long before it was her time to sleep? I don't know. Maybe a combination of all of the above. This is the first time I'm reading this out loud. You read it out loud. I just know that I'll never forget the day my sister and I said goodbye to my mother while she laid in state. So much blue. For years, I hated blue. But blue asides, green felt right. It just felt right to start this story with words I remembered verbatim. And from green it all just started to pour out of me. The memories, the last chapter ended, and I fully expected to continue to take you through the rest of what I remembered that night. To be honest, since I started writing this, I'm not sleeping, because all I see when I close my eyes that night... I need to do that. It's a soft edit, because that's all I see when I close my eyes at night. So each night I relive this over and over and over. And some days the rage inside me is enough to scare away the nightmares. But other nights I'm just too emotionally spent to even try to fight it, and the panic attacks come. As the flashbacks become so real, so vivid, and I strive to catch my breath because the memories have been forgotten for a reason. And last night, after I wrote the last chapter and I relived in such detail the accounts of walking out of the house for the last time and being placed in the squad car to wait, that's where I fully intended to start right back in. But last night, as I lay there and let my mind drift back to the squad car and tried to remember that ride, and remembered I did, and I became sick, both body and mind. I haven't thought about that car ride in decades. Now that I'm forced to, after reading this case file and his account of lies, I became sick. I woke from the nightmare, but instead of getting up or my mind drifting elsewhere, I drifted back into a past semi-conscious sleeping, remembering. And at first, a typical panic attack started, sobs, gas of breath, shaking, like what I'm having now. Nothing I don't experience at least once a day, if not multiple. This one was different because I wasn't really asleep and I wasn't completely awake either. This transpired with memories so alive, I actually thought that it was him holding me instead of myself gripping my body as I shook with tremors from the flashbacks. I thought I felt his breath on my neck and his arm around me, and I remembered some of the things that he said, and I couldn't roll fast enough out of bed to vomit. Instead, my dinner landed on the rug by the bed. And a little bit dripped from the side of my bed. I had to get close to vomiting before during a panic attack, dry heaving, sure, but I had never vomited. It was such a surreal experience, a dream, a memory, like it's you living in real time, but with knowledge I carry with myself presently. So remembering that car ride and the 30 minutes after, he had just shot my mother in a fit of jealous rage. I just couldn't, guys. I couldn't write about it today, and I had to relive that for the first time in years last night. So I knew I needed a break from the past. So together we pull our heads back from the trapdoor in 1993 and bring us back to the present. It's November 13th, 2021, and I have just started one of the hardest undertakings of my life. And so know it. But passion drives me to continue to return to these pages and tell you what I remember. And that's where it sits. And I have black grass on my face, and I'm an emotional, sobby mess, and I hope that you guys are okay with an emotional, sobby mess telling her story. And then I have another chapter started, which is what caused all this, and I'm not ready. I have a page and a half, and I'm not ready to read it yet. But it's flowing, and it's flowing out of me, and it's flowing out so fast, and it's scary, because I don't know, like when I hop back to present time, all I can do is say, the investigation is paused to be continued, because I'm sitting here by myself in a park, doing it by myself, paused to be continued. So I need to get some momentum going. So when I hop back to the present, which is where I am right now, and I don't really want to go back to the past for another chapter or two, so I can prepare myself with the pages that I've already written. I sit here and I pray, and I'm not really a religious person, but I pray that there's somebody out there that can help me, help my mom, finally. I pray that there's somebody that will reach out and say, send me that case file. I pray that this reaches somebody like that. And that's all I can do. But I'm putting this in the green playlist, which is my memoir about my mother. And then the other playlist, A Daughter's Quest for Justice, is me actually reading verbatim the case file aloud, video by video. So this is me just telling you what I know and being able to be a sobby mess. The other videos I get mad reading the case file. Anyway, either playlists are my life, and I thank everybody that's taken this journey with me, and like the people that have subscribed from stuff, the Alternate and Popcorn Plant. I mean, it takes a village, and I can't thank you guys enough. I'm just a simple person. I own a pet sitting business, but I gotta take it upon myself to solve my mom's open investigation, as they put it. It's fucking ridiculous. I think I should just be a private investigator and close my pet sitting business after this. What do you think? If I can actually get this, like, I'm a pet sitter. I do fashion design. I was actually thinking about opening another LLC and then this happened. So maybe I'm a pet sitter, fashion designer, private investigator with a twist. I'm a jack of all trades lady. Help me!